Good afternoon, Ben.
Hello.
Hello. We're here for talking about a movie, and unlike last week, this movie hasn't changed. So, what movie are we talking about this week, Ben?
We're talking about Team America World Police
We are.
by the chaps who do South Park.
Yes, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, I think it is. Um,
Yeah.
it's from 2004. Uh, what are your first comments?
I thought it was okay. I think their political stance is interesting
Okay.
in general
Okay.
because they're very much kind of their own thing. They're not really left wing, they're not really right wing,
I
they're
think
not really centrist.
I think it can be summed up best by they will do whatever they can to just take the piss.
It's not, well, no, I disagree. I don't think it's motivated by an everybody is fair game mentality. I think this their work is a genuine reflection of their political views.
Hmm. I'm not sure. I'm not
And
convinced, but
yeah,
I consider this film to be very attempt at a very silly satirical look at America's place in the world as it perceives itself and as it was perceived by non-Americans at the time.
well, yes,
That's what this film is. I think their wider work potentially could take you could take all sorts of things depending on what era of their work you're looking at. Um,
but it's certainly. I think it's a reflection of their stance on things as well as that.
um, how do we open this film? It's been a few days since I watched it. I can't quite remember. It's a
We open in Paris, Gay
ah
Paris,
yes, Paris,
and
France.
everybody's. It's very quaint and sweet, and a little boy runs away from his mummy playfully and bumps into an Osama bin Laden looking chap
A Durka
who
Durkastani, I
grimaces
believe, is the in film.
menacingly. Yes.
It's worth noting.
Oh,
This is Paris, France, which is 3,635 miles east of America.
yes, everything exists in relation to America, yeah.
Yeah, and we do get the bait
Yeah.
and switch, don't we? Of it
The
starts off
puppet
with
show.
the puppet show on top of the backdrop, which is poorly put
Mm.
together, and that it was
Mm.
apparently how it was initially shown, and one of the producers or executives or whatever was like, "Oh, they fucked us," and then it moved into the
Yeah.
actual.
Yeah.
Therefore they ended up using it for the. And I do think it's a silly little thing. If you go into this thinking this is a puppet movie, and that is the first thing you see,
Yes, it's
you
more
are.
impressive than the yeah.
Yeah, and it does. I do feel like okay, perhaps partly it's helped that we are better at enhancing video footage these days than we were back then. But I do think that generally speaking, it looks good as a film. The visuals are, for considering what it is, considering how it was made, it looks kind of good.
Yeah.
You know,
It looks bad in the right way. Puppetry is really difficult.
they
Really
put a lot
difficult.
of effort into the detail.
Yes.
You know,
It's a well-made visual movie. It's a whole puppet. As I say, puppetry's really hard.
and for the most
They went
part,
into this.
sorry.
Apparently, Trey and Matt Parker went into this thinking it would be just really fucking easy, and they went into it with their South Park mentality, where changes are made right up to the wire
Hmm?
because it's really easy to implement that with
Yep.
its animation style. And they were sort of shocked when they were told, "No, you can't do that. This is even really simple movements and jokey movements that you want to put in here. You got to be really skilled to pull some of these off."
Oh yeah, but they pulled it off.
Yes, they did. Well done, then.
Yeah. So yeah, they this French quid, whose name I can't remember, but I know he was singing Frere Jacques,
Jean-Jacques Philippe or something.
something like that. Yeah. He bumps into the guy who looks like your stereotypical terrorist. Uh,
Yes, as I said,
yeah, and there's obviously some sort of handover going on, and
with
then
a beeping suitcase.
who comes to save the day?
Team America.
the world police come in with their guns and their bombs and their missiles and their planes and their helicopters, and oh boy, do they save the day.
There's a whole fight scene.
There is.
One of them gets shot into a fountain.
Mm-hmm.
One of the terrorists, one of them gets shot into a...
You're breaking up a bit.
One of them gets shot into a bakery.
Mm-hmm. I think you mean a boulangerie.
Well, Team America fires a rocket launcher, whatever. Fires a rocket from a rocket launcher and accidentally hits the Eiffel Tower, which probably collapses and crushes the Arc de Triomphe.
Yes. Damn, I missed.
Yes, and it gets worse because the lead terrorist escapes and is running to blow up the Louvre.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not to worry because one of the other Team American members locks on in a helicopter and fires a missile and blows them and the Louvre up, stopping the terrorist from blowing up the Louvre.
And they save the day. And in true American,
yes,
at the time perceived to be not really caring about the collateral damage, is how I'm going to phrase this. They basically leave a lot of collateral damage. Now, there's a few shots in this that really, I think, are worth picking out. There's you get the hand-to-hand combat, which is intended for comedy purposes,
amazing.
And it is. It's just fun.
Yes.
You're hoping for this really interesting fight, and they're just bouncing at each other. It just works.
Yeah.
It shouldn't work. It's stupid. It's silly. It's funny. And then we get the woman who shoots the terrorist into the. Well, I don't know what. I can't remember if it's the fountain or if it's the bakery. But she says, "Terrorize this." After she's shot him, and then we get the shot of the hair flick thing, like you get in your action movies for the obvious female romantic lead. And I think it's important that it does adhere to quite a few of those sorts of tropes throughout the film. And this is one of the examples of them doing that sort of thing. So you can sort of tell who your characters are going to be in the grand scheme of things by how they. From some of these sorts of things, and this is one of those examples where you know there and then she's the romantic female lead. So yeah, they stop the terrorists, and then there's a bit of a romantic exchange, isn't there, Ben?
Yes, we get Lisa, who's the bakery shooter lady, and Carson, who's her love interest. They have a moment. Carson says that he had a lot of time to think on the flight over here, and he proposes.
Oh my god!
And it's all very happy. And then the terrorist who got shot into the fountain, he's not as dead as they think.
Oh no!
And he gets up and he shoots Carson a few times and kills him, and he dies in Lisa's arms, but not before telling her she should love again.
Yeah, find someone, move on. You deserve it. All that kind of crap.
Yes. And
she's obviously devastated, and the team's a bit broken up because you know.
Yes.
And then we cut away to what is perhaps probably one of the more famous parts of this film, I would say.
We go to New York, where every car is a taxi.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I was looking at the signs.
You did or you didn't?
No, I didn't. I was looking at the signs.
Every car is a yellow cab, and we get I think it's called Lease.
It is Lease.
Which is obviously a parody of Rent.
Yeah.
and it jumps into the whole AIDS thing, and they have a song about AIDS.
Yeah, everyone has AIDS. Can you think of any of the people who, according to this song, have AIDS?
The Pope.
And so do you, apparently.
Yeah.
That's for
your mother, your sister, and your brother or something.
My grandma, my dog, Old Blue. Basically, everyone has AIDS.
Yes.
And it's a ridiculous fucking song, but apparently everyone fucking loves it.
Well, I see. Sometimes I think South Park humor's great, and sometimes I just think it's real fucking juvenile.
I think that's my understanding, and I've not seen Rent. But my understanding is that there are some people in Rent who are dealing with having AIDS, and therefore they really fucking just laid into Rent for this. That's the whole point of this whole thing. It's just a fucking piss take of Rent.
Yes.
because that's what they have historically done in South Park, is they take a facet of something and then they make it ridiculous by overdoing it, and that's like 50% of the jokes they do in these things. Right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it's
Yeah.
just about their take on that particular one. It lands sometimes, it doesn't land all the other times, but you know, it stands out as it's quite a well-known part of a film. But
Yes.
we're introduced to Gary, the main character. Um,
Yes.
he's an actor who is loved by the theatre, is loved by his fellow actors, but he's got a dark past, hasn't he, Ben?
Yes. He's a troubled man.
He is.
We get flashbacks. Well, audio flashbacks to something terrible happening to somebody he loved.
Yeah, all we can really hear is the sound of like something like gorillas and someone screaming for help.
Yes.
It takes me back to 2016.
Yes.
Yes.
There's a knock on his dressing room,
Hmm.
and it's a chap called Spotterswood.
Something about Spotswood. Yeah.
Spotswood,
Um,
who has an interesting proposal for him.
oh my! Do you think he's going
Takes
to make
him
him
out
suck
to
him
his
off?
limo. And well, quite Gary assumes that this is a big shot Hollywood producer, and okay, I know the deal here. You're going to make me perform oral sex on you, and then you're going to get me a part. It's like, no, I just want to show you something.
Yeah, because this isn't Harvey Weinstein. This is Spotswood.
Yes.
Yes. But yes, that's very much how Hollywood is perceived a lot of the time, isn't it? Is you got to suck someone off to get the job you want.
Well, yeah, that's the joke. Yeah.
Yeah,
So they get in the limo and off they go, and then the limo turns into a plane.
It does. And where do they go?
They go to Mount Rushmore,
Oh my god.
which is the secret base for Team America, and Gary is introduced to the team.
He does. Can you remember what the team are? Well, you got it in front of you.
Yes, you have.
Okay.
The team includes Lisa, an idealistic psychologist, her love interest Carson, who died,
Yeah.
Sarah, who is a psychic, Joe, who is the leader and a jock who is in love with Sarah, and Chris, a martial art expert who harbors a grudge towards actors for yet unknown reasons.
It caught my attention that they introduced Joe as a quarterback from the University of Nebraska.
Mm.
He's basically just a football guy who's been roped into somehow. I don't know what the path of becoming a member of Team America is for him, but yeah, I can't help but feel like it's very similar to what's happened for Gary here. Is he's demonstrated
sort of an all-American. It's an all-American type backstory, isn't it?
Yeah. And they describe Sarah as the top empath from Berkeley's School for the Clairvoyant in San Francisco.
Yeah, there's a bit of Counselor Troy going on with her.
And they do take the piss out of that quite a lot throughout this film.
I sense you're confused. Yes.
Yes. I sense you're making him feel intimidated. It's like, yeah, no fucking shit, Sarah. And we also meet the computer, who is intelligence, all initials. Who is supposedly the most sophisticated computer in the world, and also sounds quite a bit like a stoner.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm assuming is probably part of the joke.
Well, yes.
And I had something else I was going to say. This being 2004, our smartphones are probably more sophisticated than intelligence is by today's standards. But that's technology for you, isn't it? So they want to get Gary to join the team. They want him to basically spy for them, because spying is just acting, really, and he's supposedly one of the best actors ever. And they want him to impersonate a terrorist at a meeting in Cairo. And if they don't stop the terrorists who are planning this big old thing, it'll be like 9/11 times 100.
That would mean 91,100, I think they say it is.
Yeah, you know, basically all the worst parts of the Bible is their reference to Ghostbusters there.
Yeah.
And he's told, you know, if you're not interested, there's the door. And he walks out.
He's okay.
Yeah, fine, fair enough.
So they just goes. Oh.
And there's
Lisa runs after him.
There's this wonderful exchange between them, isn't there?
I guess.
I think it's wonderful. So clever. It's very American.
Okay.
So he says, "Why is it my responsibility to do something?" And she says, because like it or not, you have the power to do something.
Yes.
And it's, you know, it's sort of the with great power comes great responsibility style sort of thing. And again, this is very much the American way of looking at it. It's like, oh, well, we can do something, so we probably should, even if it's not necessarily the most sensible thing for them to do. Yeah.
But he still has some soul searching to do. So he asks Spotswood's driver to take him on a detour, and he goes to Washington D.C. and they've literally just filmed the puppet Ty Landmark.
And
There's the Lincoln Memorial and various other places.
They've got the song, haven't they?
The cemetery.
Freedom isn't free.
Which is sort of a generic jingoistic anthem that was popular around the Iraq War.
Yeah.
They're just talking about how, we fought evil once, we'll do it again, and it's about freedom, and
Do you know, can you remember what freedom costs?
A $1.05.
Yeah, that's it. Freedom isn't free, there's a hefty fucking fee. It's just silly little. It's like they put a lot of effort into the lyrics again for these songs. I know they're stupid songs. I know all of these songs are stupid. But if you just listen to them, you can tell that they actually put the work into it still. You know? Yeah. So yeah, anyway, we cut away briefly to a place that's 5,945 miles west of America. Can you remember where this is?
Cairo.
No, this is North Korea at this point. We are introduced to Kim Jong-il, who is basically a racist Asian stereotype cartman.
Yes.
And we find out he's been the one supplying the WMDs to the terrorists. That the ones that were in Paris, they were working with him, and he's kind of pissed off because these guys haven't really done their job properly, and they need to get shit going. And why is everyone else so fucking useless, sort of thing. But yeah, we find out at this point that he is the main bad guy, but it's not obvious to the. This is one of those. Does this fall under dramatic irony? We know something the cast don't, sort of thing.
Not really dramatic irony.
No, it's the closest thing I can think of.
Dramatic irony would be like if, the example I always go to is in an Inspector Calls, where one of the arrogant rich characters is talking about how the Titanic will never sink.
Ah, yeah, sort of thing.
We know that it does, and yeah.
Oh boy, doesn't it just?
I have to say, I'm like I said before, sometimes their humour strikes me as juvenile, and sometimes it just sort of gets me.
Yeah.
And I like funny, ridiculous voices.
Okay, so you quite like Kim Jong-il, do you?
I quite like Kim Jong-il.
Okay, well, let's hope no one ever takes that out of context. Look, I as a character in this film, especially later on, I also enjoy Kim Jong-il. It's stupid. It's stupid humor. The whole thing is fucking stupid humor, and that's what I need sometimes. I don't want to have to think sometimes when it comes to comedy. I like to think
you rarely
sometimes.
want to think.
I like to make thinky jokes sometimes. I like to not make thinky jokes sometimes. And this scratches that no thinky jokey makey time. When I have bad think, I don't want to have to joke think. I want to not think for good joke. Good time stuff. Yeah. You get
Yes.
Me? Okay.
I guess.
Okay. So...
Yeah, he shoots his interpreter in the head.
Yes.
He does his little English thing.
Is what? Sorry.
English.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
That's what they call it on TV tropes.
I don't know. Maybe.
And he's very,
basically
very
all
mad.
the L's are R's.
Yes. And Gary undergoes a surgical procedure after heading back to base.
Yes, and attempt to make him look like a Middle Eastern man. and
Yes.
basically they just black him up and chuck a bit of patchy facial hair on his face.
Yes.
I don't know at what point of this video you will see the image, but I have got an image of him in the back of a Jeep, where his face is very clearly visible. And you will see what we're talking about. It might be now, it might be later. Heck, it might have already happened. Yeah. Either way, at some point. So yeah, they go to we get the theme song, don't we? The Team America theme song.
Yeah, America, fuck yeah.
Yeah, coming again to save the motherfucking day. Yeah. And they, as they go to Cairo, which is 5,621 miles east of America. I made a note for all of these, by the way.
Yeah.
And they're trying to sneak Gary in, aren't they? So they naturally do a thing that involves crashing a helicopter into the middle of a marketplace. By which I mean,
it's a recurring theme where all these places are nice and peaceful and everybody's getting along, and then America shows up.
Yeah, and it's fucking a mess afterwards. And they're like, oh, we're going to sneak Gary in. Well, don't worry, we're just looking for terrorists. Let's go to the tavern.
Yes, and as unsubtle as possible. And they're walking around with him right in front of the tavern.
Yeah.
So anybody could see they were together.
Yeah.
Because apparently
they tell him what the signal is if he needs to get the hell out of there, or if they need to work out which one he is, and it's just waving his arms around in the air. It's just it's just stupid. It's stupid.
Yes.
Interesting fact about this section. The terrorists speak a made-up language which is referred to as Durka Durka, whereas the Cairo villagers actually speak Arabic. Like proper, genuine Arabic.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought so. I suppose by using a made-up language, you're not really offending anyone specific, are you? Whereas by having the normal people speak a normal language,
well, I mean they yeah, it's sort of how Americans view the world, or satire on how Americans are seen to view the world. The terrorists just make noises.
Yeah.
Occasionally say Muhammad and jihad and stuff.
Yeah, because that is basically what it is, isn't it? Even the French earlier was mostly just like noises and a few well-known French words in there. But yeah, they go in. Gary goes into the tavern, and did it remind you of anywhere?
Yes, it's.
I'd never made this connection before this. I just want to.
It's the Mos Eisley cantina. They're even playing. Apparently, it's the music played backwards.
Oh, okay. I was trying to listen to it. Think, hang on, is this just a their version of it, or is it slightly? But yeah, it's meant to be Chulman's cantina from A New Hope. It's yeah. Yes,
which again is very. Yeah, sometimes they hit the mark.
Sometimes they do, yeah. So he's like, does anyone know about any big terrorist plans coming up? And he gets ushered into a back room to meet the terrorist who met with Kim Jong Il.
Yes,
and we're like, well, how do we know we can trust you? So he tells a story, doesn't he, about the infidels destroying his village and getting his goats and his family dying and all that kind of shit. And he ends it with, if you don't believe it, then you better kill me now because I'll put a jihad on you too.
Yes.
Which, well, I mean, that's I'll put a jihad on you is a line that I recall hearing outside of Team America context. I can't remember where, but it feels like one of those lines that does transcend the film a little bit.
Yeah.
But they spot the rest of the team outside the window, don't they? Because they're doing a fantastic job.
Well, of course they do, because they're just standing there. Yeah.
In their American outfits, literally red, white, and blue from top to bottom.
Yeah.
So, they're like, oh, quick, come with us. We're going to leave. Because they believe him for some reason, even though it's really fucking obvious that this random guy has turned up at the same time as these Americans have turned up. It's like, no, fucking think it through, guys. But no.
So they get out of there in a Jeep.
They do. Hence the image that will probably be up at some point. and they're chased through Cairo and out into the desert, and he gives a signal, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yes, he gives a signal. He's waving his arms about in the back of the jeep, saying, "It's me, it's me."
Yes. And
Can
they
you
think
remember?
he's saying, "Kiss me, kiss me." It's
it's
like that son of a bitch. Let's kill him. Taking the
but
piss.
they. It's just
They're so
it's the
stupid.
Americans. This is how we see Americans. I know it's not. I know it's not all of them, but this is what their foreign policy has seemed like for so much of our lives.
Yes.
And you know, especially back then, you know, okay, fine, 9/11 was fucking awful, right?
Mm.
No one's disputing that. But like,
Yep.
fucking invading Iraq and invading Afghanistan and all that kind of shit, it's all very heavy-handed. And
Yeah.
that is basically American foreign policy. It's a bit like Israeli foreign policy, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Heavy-handed, ham-fisted, no finesse, no nuance. You know. So anyway, yeah, they end up blowing up a pyramid and the entrance to the hiding place of the Holy Grail from Indiana Jones.
Yes, which is not actually in Egypt.
No, it's in Jordan, isn't
It's
it?
in... Yeah.
Yeah, not in me. Just for anyone who got confused there, I'm not harbouring the Holy Grail. Um, and then the terrorist jeep ends up
Um.
getting ramped into the Sphinx as well, which blows that up.
Well, Gary suggests they pull over, and
Yes.
then he's like, "Yes, what a brilliant idea! We'll pull over, and then we'll ram them from behind and blow them up. We'll die together." He's like, "What?"
I don't know who it is
So
that's
he does
driving
that,
it. Whoever's driving the American car says, "Oh damn, he got past me." It's
and
like what?
then and then Lisa swoops in and picks him up,
Yeah.
saves Gary, and the terrorists, as you say, drive off the ramp, crash into the Sphinx, and its head comes off.
There's a lot of. It's worth noting there's a lot of foul language in this film as well,
Uh-huh.
and it's quite gory.
It is wonderfully gory, yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so they get back and oh my god, actually, turns out people are not
So
happy.
no,
No, there's a few people speaking out
no,
against him.
they're angry because Team America have once more gone into a place and blown stuff up, and it's the Film Actors Guild, or FAG,
Yep.
um, and there's a few protesters outside the base,
Yep.
including Michael. What's his name? I can't remember.
Michael Moore, and actually that's very very relevant to my point I wanted to make about Michael Moore. Is that
Yeah,
almost all of the celebrities that are here that are presented, you still sort of think about every now and again. Nowadays, like Alec Baldwin will come up
well,
sometimes.
some of them.
Tim Robbins will come up. Sean Penn will come up. George Clooney, Liv Tyler, Martin Sheen, Susan Sarandon. The only other person really that I could think of that didn't really come up very often, other than Michael Moore, was Janine Garofalo. Right?
Well, Michael Moore still pops up.
Yeah, it was such a big thing back then, but nowadays he's just normally it's because you're talking about the early 2000s stuff that he did, rather than something new, isn't
Yeah,
it? And it's like
yeah,
it's a rarity compared to the vast majority of the people on this list. I would say in my own life at least. Like I'd almost forgotten Michael Moore existed
yeah.
personally. They there's a bit they apparently Sean Penn wrote to them pissed off about something he'd said, and he it ended with a sincere "fuck you, Sean Penn." Um, uh,
Well,
and apparently, sorry, go on.
he didn't write that letter because of the film and his portrayal in that. Apparently, he wrote it because they had said young people shouldn't vote.
Yeah, there's no shame in
Because
not
both,
voting, is the quote I've got.
which in a sense, I don't know. I think there is a bit of shame, but yeah, I get his
It
point.
depends really on the circumstances, doesn't it? If you've got two shitty candidates that you think are both
Yeah,
going to be equally bad, then I suppose it's not the end of the world to not put your name against either of them, right? But I do personally
I
believe that
guess.
we
Yeah.
should vote as often as we are capable of voting. I'm a big fan of democracy. Fuck yeah.
Mm.
Freedom. Yeah. Democracy. Yeah, all that kind of shit.
So yeah, the turning of the tide against them, and they have a party regardless to celebrate because they found the nukes and everything's safe.
Yep.
Have cocktails. Um, and then Gary and Lisa are outside,
Yep.
and they get to talking, and Lisa has feelings for Gary, but she doesn't want to act on them because she loved Carson. Carson died, and she's we can't be together, and unless you can promise that you won't ever die. And he's like, I can't promise that. She says, if you promise that, I would make love to you right now. He looks her in the eyes and goes, Lisa, I promise you I will never die.
And it's the most deadpan, bland, monotone fucking thing he ever does, isn't it? I will never die. And it,
Yes.
and then of course we get the infamous sex scene. I just want to
Yes.
say, getting a picture from that scene is very difficult because of the awkwardness of trying to avoid any actual
He can only
quote
use
unquote.
one hand.
Well, I mean, it's not that sexy. I mean, they took out the golden shower scene.
Yes, famously.
Yes.
Um,
So we've got that going on. We do briefly get a side in North Korea again,
yeah.
where Hans Blix arrives from the UN.
Yeah, yes, the weapons inspector made famous by the Iraq War.
Yeah.
He shows up because he wants to have a look around, and he's speaking with Kim Jong Il
Yep.
or Un, whichever one it is,
Ill.
and he's saying there are certain places your men won't let me see in. I need to see in them, and if you don't let us, you're going to regret it because we'll write a really angry letter
Saying how angry we are.
Ooh.
And it seemed this is the point that made me message you saying it feels really relevant this week
Yes.
because basically that was Trump's this week when he was in the UN. He was like, well, what does the UN do apart from tell people off? It doesn't really do anything, and it's an interesting. I mean, I think it is probably a fair criticism of the United Nations personally. I don't like agreeing with him about something, but the UN could do a lot more than it currently does in terms of these sorts of things. And then he gets dropped into a shark tank to get eaten.
Yes. I don't know what the fish are. They look like catfish type things. I don't know.
I think they're plex. I think is what they're called. I think my partner's got some of them. Plek fish.
Well, yes, they eat hands big.
They're just stuck in mouth fish. So
And
yeah.
as you said before, it's the when you're talking about the violence, that it is the contrast of the silliness of puppets and hardcore violence that I find that I like. I find it fun.
It almost sounded like you read that out from a note.
No,
Oh,
I
okay.
just wanted to say earlier, and then you kept talking.
Oh well, someone's got to. I never know when your internet's going to crap out again.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Hans taken care of. I don't know why, but I like the way that Kim says Hans. Oh,
Yeah.
hi Hans. There's just something about it just scratches an itch in the. Yeah, so we get back with Team America and they're still celebrating, and we find out about everyone knows the drama about the relationships because it becomes apparent that Lisa and Gary have done something, and Sarah's like, no, but you knew I liked him, and Joe's like, what, you like him? And everyone's hurt because Gary's, slept with a woman that likes him. Like Gary's not done anything wrong in this situation, right? Other than potentially the "I will never die" thing. He's not caused the drama there.
Up.
He's not the reason everyone else has fallen out.
Yes, what tangled webs we weave.
Yes. We find out about his past trauma as well, don't we?
Yes, he was at a zoo as a kid, and he was playing around on the railing, acting and pretending to be a tightrope walker or something. And he fell into the gorilla enclosure, and his brother jumped in but forgot that he had some blueberries in his pocket. and the guerrillas went literally ape shit and ripped him apart and were throwing him around and all sorts and killed him. And his acting got someone killed,
Yeah,
is how he phrases it.
yeah, it's very much of that belief, isn't it? And he later on, he's like, well, my acting is why you're all pissed with each other, and you know,
Yes,
and we've actually
it's
turns out this is when the sex scene happens. We've skipped a bit, but we end
all
up
right.
we end up with them saying that nothing in the world can mess this up.
Hmm.
What do you think could mess it up, Ben?
Yeah. Well, we cut to Panama, and Panama's looking really nice.
It is, isn't it? 2,193 miles south of the real America.
Was it south or was it west?
South, because it's yeah, it says south because I made a note of.
Oh, right. I
I
thought it said
paused the
west because
screen every time to do it.
um, yes, everything's going nice, and then there's an explosion, the dam bursts, and everybody drowns.
It's the canal. I wouldn't call it a dam. It's a canal, isn't it?
Canal, whatever. Yes,
Apparently,
whatever.
all the foliage was cannabis in that scene.
Oh,
But again,
did not notice.
it's such a small set well, in the grand scheme of things, it's such a small set that they completely wrecked, and they put so much detail into it again. You know,
Yeah.
it's one of those moments where I'm like, yeah, they put the work in. Um, and they find out, don't they? And they're all a bit, oh shit. Um, and there's this that was bad intelligence, very bad intelligence, and the company to
Yes.
apologise.
It's yeah. I mean, Team America are meant to represent American foreign policy, as we've
Yeah.
discussed,
Mm.
and so their intelligence isn't very good. Is kind of amusing,
Yeah,
and they are literally the police for the world. Which, yeah,
which,
it's
it's just,
basic as fuck satire, but
but it works.
I guess yeah.
Yeah. So because of this perceived, they get blamed for why the attack happened in Panama. This happened because of what happened in Cairo. What Team America did in
Mm.
Cairo made us blow up Panama. So
Yes.
Alec Baldwin, as voiced by Maurice LaMarche, by the way.
Okay, who's
Uh,
that?
well, that's the guy who did the voice for um, in Ed Wood, played by physically by Vincent D'Onofrio, and I can't remember his name now. Oscar Wilde.
No, I can't. I can never remember his fucking name either. Chap who did Citizen
Yeah,
Kane.
I can't
Oh,
remember his
fuck's
name,
sake.
but either way, point is, this is another film where we've got an actor that was actually in another one.
Orson Welles.
Orson Welles, that's it, not Oscar Wilde.
I always fucking think, yeah, we do have a fair amount of overlap on occasion.
Yeah, I mean we've done a lot of films now, and everyone's connected in some way, aren't they? But I'm curious how
Yeah.
long a chain we can make from the films that we've done now. At some point, I
No.
may, if I can be bothered. I'm never gonna do it. May
No.
work it out. But yeah, protesters turn up and Michael Moore's there, and he's portrayed as a hot dog eating fucking mess. And this is apparently a response to them disliking how they were represented in Bowling for Columbine,
Mm.
which I have seen, but it was a long time ago. And Gary's freaking out because he thinks he got all the Panama people killed, and he's like, "I'm gonna fucking leave." And Spots was like, "Remember, there's no I in Team America."
Yes, there is.
Yeah, there you go. And everyone finds out about the fucking, and everyone's upset, and he's never going to act again.
Yes.
His guilty acting's got no rhythm.
Yeah. So the team are going to. I think they're going to North Korea, aren't they? Because they figured it out by that point. That Kim Jong Il's behind everything.
No, they don't. They don't find that until he reveals it himself.
Oh right, okay. Well, Gary goes to a bar.
Yeah,
I think I can't remember. He
they,
goes to a bar and he's drunk.
hang on. Let me read my notes, see if I can piece it together. The team are working through some stuff. They're trying to intercept something. I don't know what. And when they do, they get ambushed by North Koreans. And they're like, what are they doing here? And while that's happening, Michael Moore blows up his bomb vest in the Team America Mount Rushmore headquarters, fucking everything up, and the team get captured.
Yes, Jesus, fucking Christ.
Then we get Kim Jong-il's song.
Yes, woefully, or whatever he says it.
And it, honestly, if it wasn't for the accent, it would actually be quite touching. Lyrically.
Yeah, the songs are good.
Yeah.
They're good fun songs.
This is also one of 2 occasions where we have an actual human being on screen.
Oh?
The statue in the big hall was a real human being.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, you can see him blink at the start of the first time he's on the screen while he's going down the stairs. You can see him blink.
Did not know that.
And then later on, it's still the same guy. He shifts stance briefly between the shots. And then I'll do it now. The second person that you see on screen, whilst Alec Baldwin is doing his speech on the stage later on the view screens, like the video screens, there's actual Alec Baldwin footage, but it's quite difficult to see it, so you wouldn't really notice. But it's actual Alec Baldwin footage.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, all this happens. Gary's in a bar, like you said. I'll let you carry on with that.
Well, he's getting drunk, and somebody says, "Oh, you're that actor guy." And he's like, "Fuck off."
Go on, do the scene. Do the scene.
And no, and an old guy approaches him and really gives the philosophy of the movie, and I think the Matt and Trey's philosophy, which is that there are 3 types of people in the world: dicks, pussies, and assholes.
Okay.
Dicks are fucking everybody, and assholes just shit everywhere. And the pussies don't like the dicks because they get fucked by the dicks. But the dicks are also fucking the assholes, and if they didn't, everybody would have shit everywhere. Gist of it is that liberals and sort of warhawks might not like each other, but they're both necessary because you need the liberals to rein the warhawks in and the warhawks to actually stop the bad people.
Yeah, that's probably a fair analysis of both the accuracy. That's probably correct as well, really, in the grand scheme of things. You need the balance.
That's the argument. Yes. I mean, I don't disagree.
Which one are you, a dick, pussy, or an asshole?
I don't know. I don't think it's really for me to say. Which one are you?
Oh, I don't know. I think I'm a bit of all 3, wrapped up in a mess. Don't ask my toilet bowl. This analogy makes Gary feel a bit sick in his drunken state, doesn't he? So he throws up a little bit and he gets kicked out, and then he throws up a lot.
Yes, it is kind of perfectly executed. That
it just goes on and on.
Vomiting scene outside. It goes on for exactly the right amount of time, and it escalates like perfectly, where he's throwing up a bit and then he starts throwing up more and more and more, and then it's just like high pressure bursting out of him, and then it stops before it goes on too long. So well done. That was good.
There's a little thing I noticed in this scene as well, which I think is again attention to continuity in this case, which you wouldn't expect really because of who it is, but he's got a hammer on the bar in front of him. Why would that potentially be relevant?
Yeah, it's because when Gary is first recruited, Spotswood says, "Look, this might get dangerous. There's a chance you might get captured, and you'll be looking for a way out. So in that instance, I have something for you." And of course, you expect it to be a cyanide capsule, and he puts a hammer. Like, if you get in too deep, beat yourself to death. and then at his lowest point, it's sitting right there like he's considering it.
I honestly, I think that is he was considering killing himself with a fucking hammer. How fucking that's probably the
Yeah.
darkest this film gets.
Yes.
Um, I would say realistically, and it's one of those blink and you'll miss it things because you wouldn't even, you know, I've never noticed the hammer
I
on the
missed
bar
it. I only
before.
found out. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
Kim's gonna have a peace conference, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, he's got a
And
peace
he's also
conference.
going to invite the Film Actors Guild as well,
Yeah, they're
led
gonna
by Steve Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin. Too many Baldwins.
I know. They're going to be the keynote speakers at this peace conference where everyone's invited, and Kim reveals that whilst this is happening, he's going to set off WMDs across the world, and it's going to be 9/11 times
Yeah.
2,356.
Yeah.
My God, that's I don't even know what that is. Nobody does. Uh, yeah, so Gary's obviously sobered up a little bit at this point, and he's done a bit of soul searching,
Yeah.
and he's on his bike, and he's riding towards Mount Rushmore, and there's basically the entirety of the drive there is someone saying, "We fucking hate Pearl Harbor," the film.
Yes.
Yes,
I miss you almost as much as I hate Pearl Harbor.
yes. I miss you more than that movie missed the point, and that's an awful lot, girl. It's just fucking
Yes.
they hate that film. But he's on his bike and he gets into the Mount Rushmore, which has obviously been blown up, and the computer tells him that the base was attacked by a giant socialist weasel.
Yes.
Which, um, yeah,
Yes.
so he's Spotswood's still there, and Spotswood's like, Harry's like, look, I want to help. I want to help fix this. And Spotswood's like, well, I don't believe you. You know what you're going to have to do to prove to me that you mean it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to have to suck him off.
Good. Gary doesn't believe him. You're joking, right? He's like, no, got to do it. So he does it, and Spotswood just stares ahead and
Yep.
blinks a couple of times, and that's it.
Yeah, apparently he did a good job though. So they train him up, don't they? Because he needs to be trained up to how to do some of the stuff. Because he was just acting before, but he's going to have to use a gun and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So they have a montage.
Montage. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, again, is
He's
just
shooting.
ridiculous.
He's working out. He's doing all sorts.
And they're showing a little improvement
Which
every
is a joke
time.
they use in a South Park episode.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just again it's for stupidness. So Gary sets off towards the North Korean palace, I assume, where all this is going on,
Yeah.
and he uses a Jedi mind trick to get in, doesn't he?
Yes, it's like he does the whole "you don't need to see my identification," but it's very reminiscent of Luke arriving at Jabba's palace as well.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like, well, no, I believe him. Yeah, okay, go on in.
Yeah.
And he's going in, and we get, this is where the statue moves in between the takes. It's like we as he's the door opens, he's stood in one position, and then when he's actually in the room, he's in a different position, and it's subtle, but it's noticeable at the same time. It's just silly little. It's one of those silly little details that because it's a comedy, it's funny rather than it being a pain. If that makes sense.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
you can play it off as an intentional comedic thing. It probably wasn't, but yeah. And he's got to try and find the team, and he finds most of them, doesn't he?
Yeah, Lisa has been taken by Kim and will be his guest of honor at this peace talk.
Mm-hmm.
So she's up in his box, and the others are in the prison cell, and they don't really trust him.
Nope.
And then Spotswood explains A, that he's alive, and B, that Gary has performed oral sex on him, and the others are like, yeah, okay, that scans.
Yeah, fair enough.
Apart from the one guy,
Chris,
Chris, who explains his backstory
a little
when he
later,
was
yeah.
19. When he was 19, oh yeah, well, probably is a little later. Let's do
No,
it now. Why not?
yeah, yeah. Do it now while it's relevant.
When he was 19, he went to see Cats and he loved it. And then he got invited backstage, and let me find the actual quote because he uses character names and I don't remember them.
I've got it written down if you want me to
Uh,
read it.
no, I'll do it. I want
Okay.
to do it.
I thought you might feel a bit iffy about this.
No, it's
Okay.
amusing. Where is it?
Remember that he said that, viewer, if you're still here, that he called this bit amusing.
It is amusing. I was 19 years old when the musical Cats came to our town. I couldn't wait to see it. After the show, I was asked if I wanted to go meet some of the performers backstage. Man, I was thrilled. When I got back there, they were drunk and out of control. Rumpus Cat and McCavity kept feeling up my leg. I tried to leave, but Rumpelteazer held me down, and I was raped by Mr. Mistopheles. It's just it's it's the use of the characters' names and that it's so extreme.
Mm. No, it
It's
is amusing because it is ridiculous because it's not a thing
yes.
that really happened. This is not a real
Why do you
person's account of a thing that happened. So we are allowed to be
why do
amused by
you
this.
why do you hate actors? Because I was gang raped by the cast of Cats.
Yeah, that's a perfectly reasonable reason to not like
And you know they
actors.
all had a go after Mr. Mistopheles was done, right?
Almost certainly, you know.
Because it just escalates after that. They're all having a crack on him.
Well, I wouldn't know. I've never been to one of these things.
Magical Mr. Mistopheles. All right, go
While
on.
this is happening, or just before this is happening, we have the other two, Joe and Sarah, uh,
Yeah.
gets led into a room by some actors, trapped
Yes.
in there, and they have to fight off Kim's panthers.
Kitty cats.
Yeah, little kitty cats. And I showed this little bit to my son.
Mm.
One of very few parts of this film that are appropriate to show him, and it was they're gonna fight these panthers, and then I showed him them coming into the room. I was like, "What do you think they are?" And he thought they were going to be. I can't remember what it was, but he wasn't right, and he was amused by what they actually were. And Sarah uses her empath ways to save the day here.
Yes. She
She's
convinces the Panthers, that they're not the enemy, that it's Danny Glover and I think
Sean
Sean
Penn, is it?
Penn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes,
Um,
we get a lot. Yeah, they break through the glass and tear them apart. We get a lot of good deaths for our actor
hmm.
villains.
It,
Um,
it's a good. If it's a particularly gory one again, isn't it? I mean, the cats are really fucking ripping into them.
Susan Sarandon's sticks out where she's in a room tied to a chair. And she's like, "Oh no, Kim's crazy. You got to help me." They turn against me. They tie me to a chair. Chris is all for releasing her, but Gary's like, "No, she's acting." And they're like, "What?" And then she goes, "You will die a peasant's death."
Mm-hmm.
And then they kick her out. Kick her out. I love Susan Sarandon, by the way. They kick her out the
Yeah.
window and she splats.
They
Um,
this is why Chris tells his story, um, because
yes.
of
Yeah.
Gary having seen through the thing. It's worth noting a lot of the actors are doing this because they've been in action movies. They know how to fight.
Yeah.
We
Yes.
get
It, yeah. The whole point of the whole FAG guild thing is that actors getting involved in politics when they don't know what they're talking about and casting themselves as sort of experts.
mhm.
It's like when Jerry Halliwell was invited to the UN as like a human rights ambassador or something, and
Jesus.
all this shit. Like you have no place being there. You're just a famous person. Stop it.
Trouble is, people
And
listen to
as you
famous
say,
people.
they have every right to comment, but no right to like insert themselves as experts.
Well, no, I suppose that's the thing, isn't it?
And
It's
that's the
whoever
difference.
makes them, whoever declares them the expert is the problem there. I would say.
Large part they just sort of do it themselves.
Wow. Um, Kim goes
And
ahead
the
and
whole action movie. I've been in an action movie, so I know how to fight. Thing that plays into that.
yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
Kim goes ahead and he presses the button to set off the bombs, and Lisa's like, "No!" And he's like, "Yep, set the bombs off, and I'll go off
will
in
end
5 minutes."
in 5 minutes.
Uh,
Does this piss you off because it's an arbitrary time countdown?
I didn't keep track of it, but it would have done it probably would have done if I had done.
In fairness, it's a very ridiculous comedy, so I suppose it can't really be. Doesn't really matter.
Probably not as much. If it was a serious film, it probably would. I'd probably make a point of taking note of it. We get the group apart from Lisa meet up again, and they're fighting off people. And Chris, the martial arts expert, is fighting Samuel L. Jackson. And
yes.
We get Samuel L. Jackson say a very famous line that isn't actually his.
Stop trying to hit me and hit me.
Yeah, that's a Lawrence Fishburne line, isn't it?
He kicks the top of his head off.
Is it bad that
there's a great?
So go on.
Gone.
No, you first.
Well, there's a great. The way that opens is that Chris and Gary have been captured, and Tim Robbins. We cut to Tim Robbins pouring gasoline all over them, and saying something like, "This peace is the only option," or something funny like that. It just juxtaposes with what he's doing. He just abuses because he's about to set on fire.
We've not talked about Matt Damon.
No, we haven't.
No, it's considering he's probably the most famous puppet in this film.
Yes.
Because of his all his lines are Matt Damon. But you probably didn't need us to tell you that.
Yeah, it ascended. Yeah.
And the Janine Garofalo, who I never know how to say her name.
Janine Garofalo.
I couldn't remember who she was, actress-wise, and the only film I think I've seen her in is Mystery Men, and I recognised her better after she'd had her face blown up than I did before. Which I don't know what that says about me, the film, her, or the puppet.
Yeah.
But everyone else, and I suppose Tim Robbins, I didn't really recognise him from the puppet. But everyone else, near enough, you can, I suppose. I think you can.
Well, yeah, we do get a fight scene. As I say, Samuel L. Jackson gets half his head kicked off. Helen Hunt has a Kill Bill style katana fight with what's the name? Sarah, and Sarah ends up cutting her in half. George Clooney appears at one point, gets his head blown off. Matt Damon gets his neck broken, and then Tim Robbins is like, "Don't fucking move," and is holding them at gunpoint. And then Chris tosses a cigarette into the oil or in the gasoline, which Tim Robbins has previously gotten covered in due to a fight, and burns them alive.
Yeah, I've got some bad news for you. I've got one piece of news for you, Tim Robbins. Yeah.
Yes.
So they burst onto the scene, onto the stage, and they're like, "Hey, we need to stop this. It's not, Team America aren't all that bad, and Kim Jong Il is going to blow shit up, and he's got to outperform Alec Baldwin."
You can't out me, boy. Alec Baldwin is cast as the greatest actor who has ever lived. So Gary gets on stage and delivers the dick pussy asshole monologue, which wins everybody over, including Queen Elizabeth and Tony Blair, who were in the audience representing Blighty.
Yes.
And they turn on they're won over, and they turn on Alec Baldwin and Kim Jong Il, and Kim is so outraged he shoots Alec Baldwin dead.
Yeah, you're useless, Alec Baldwin.
Yes, which apparently Alec Baldwin, his kids' friends used to say that to him a lot.
Apparently people in the street say it to him occasionally.
Yeah. And Lisa manages to get free and kicks Kim out the box, off the balcony. He lands on a German guy's pointy helmet and dies.
Yep.
Sort of. Gary makes it up to the box, stops the countdown. The day is saved.
It's worth noting, she says, he's like, "How do I do it?" And she says, "Press the big cancel button." Which obviously, but also apparently the words on the thing on the thing
Yeah.
actually said cancel in the
Mm.
language. So
Yeah.
it's like it's literally the big cancel button,
Mm.
which is kind of cool. And he starts apologising to her, doesn't he? He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and she's like, "You had me at dicks fuck assholes." So
Yes.
you know what she's up for.
Yeah. So everything's better, and then Kim reveals his true form as a space cockroach,
Oh my god.
gets in a spaceship, flies off, and vows to return
Mm. And he hasn't yet.
for revenge.
We've not had the second coming of Kim,
No,
unless that was a
no.
South Park episode I've
Uh,
not seen.
it's yes.
And Team America head off to stop more bad guys because the
Yeah.
work's never done. There's always a bad guy out there. So yeah, that's Team America. I've got a couple of little factoids that I picked up throughout this as well that I've not mentioned yet.
Uh,
Apparently, they got given the script for The Day After Tomorrow, and thought it was funny enough as it was that they wanted to maybe make that into the puppet version of that.
yeah, there's a
At the time.
couple of origin stories for this. One, as you say, is they wanted to do a puppet version of either The Day After Tomorrow or Independence Day, I heard.
Oh, okay, yeah, that
And
makes
then
sense.
another one was that they stumbled on Thunderbirds,
Hmm.
the old TV show.
I think that's why they wanted to make a puppet movie itself, and I think
Yeah, and then
the
well
yeah.
they found that they found out that there was being a Thunderbirds film was being made, and it was being made in live action.
Hmm.
So they were a bit that got them interested in puppets.
Busted did the soundtrack for that, or at least the main song for that.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, I used to be a big Busted fan, and now I'm just a big fan of big busts.
Uh-huh.
And another one. Paramount immediately greenlighted the idea of making a puppet movie in a mistaken belief that it would be cheaper than a live action film.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm.
Is it? I don't feel like greenlighted
Which
is
is
the
so
right.
stupid.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they
Yeah, but
greenlit it, not greenlighted it.
no, but yeah, but the quote, the factoid said greenlighted, and I was like, I'm not sure it is greenlighted. I think it feels like it should be greenlit, but
Yeah.
maybe it's the
Well,
American way
I
of saying it.
don't know how you think that works, because with a live action film you can film on location. Sure, your actors are maybe more expensive,
Well, maybe that's the
but with
thing.
puppets, you gotta build all that shit.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? They don't necessarily think of the the set cost when you're comparing it to actor cost. You think of all the prices some of these actors go for back then, let alone now. Especially the actors of the names that they've got. I mean, fucking. Is this one of a few films that Matt Damon's done that hasn't got Ben Affleck in it?
Well, Matt Damon wasn't in it,
I know he wasn't really in it, but it feels weird to see quote unquote Matt Damon without a quote unquote Ben Affleck.
I guess.
I can think of The Martian as well, but there's not many more.
Mm.
Yeah. And we we didn't mention Lisa taking the piss out of Kim Jong Il's inability to pronounce the word inevitable.
Yeah.
Inevitable. Yeah. But again, we should probably try and avoid too much of that because we don't want to be called out for being racist for quoting a movie. That is a piece of its time. Um, but yeah, I mean, I like this film. I've not seen it in a long time. I think the fact if you go into it expecting something serious, then you're a fucking idiot. It is a stupid film. It's got stupid jokes. It's stupid humor. Sometimes that's what you want. It's what I want a lot, to be honest with you, and it works for me. I like this film. I wouldn't watch
I
it every day.
I I think it's fine. There are parts that I find amusing, but I still have the same general issue with it as I do with really all of Trey and Matt's stuff. In that I don't really, I don't find their attitude and view of the world particularly helpful in terms of their politics. I think they miss the point a fair amount of the time. Um, Yeah, there's a lot of issues I have with them, but they are very talented, and the fact that they still managed to make South Park relevant is
Mm.
immensely impressive. So
And more so
yeah,
lately than in previous years because people have actually
oh
talked about
God,
it.
yeah,
Like it's only our fucking news cycle that
yeah,
you know.
they've still fucking got it. I mean,
Yeah.
South Park. I wouldn't say South Park was dying, but South Park wasn't as culturally,
It was
you
a
know,
sideline, wasn't it? It wasn't the news story. It was just
important. It was still going. But yeah, they can still fucking do it, man, and
mm,
that's immensely impressive. So well done.
yeah. Um, so I have been paying attention to my calendar, and it's my understanding that next week is the last one before you go away for a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Which means that this is next week is going to be the last one until we're really looking at maybe the Halloween ones.
yeah, we'll do a couple of. I don't see why we should limit ourselves with scary movies just to Halloween, but
I think
we'll
if
do some.
for the sake of having it something themed, I think maybe aim at having some there.
Yeah, but we shouldn't rule it out. So yeah, those cut. When I come back, we'll do a scary movie or a horror film each,
Yeah, yeah.
and then we'll take it. But as you say, we do still have 1 week.
Yeah, just hang on. Before we get
So
to that, I'm going to need to roll a dice when we get to that so I can work out which of the scary movies to make you watch.
okay,
You know, because of a
um,
scary movie series of comedy films that are parodies of horror movies.
I will kill you.
I'm not.
I will drive.
I've already told you.
I will
You can't drive.
take a bus. Well, shows how determined I am. I will learn to drive or get a bus, go to your house, and I will beat you to death in front of your child, and he will be
Jesus.
outraged until I explain what you were going to do, to make me do, and then he'll say, "Yeah, fair enough."
I've already told you what film it is
Uh,
because we talked about them before. I
uh,
know what yours is already as well, so it's fine. It's not a comedy.
I think I've forgotten, but yeah,
Oh, that's
okay.
fine. Anyway, so what's your pick for next week? The last one before you go away for a couple of weeks.
I want to watch a movie that I think is very nearly perfect.
Oh God, I'm gonna hate it, aren't
Ve- no, you're gonna love it. Very nearly perfect to the point where my only issues with it are kind of nitpicky and almost like Jurassic Park in that respect. I want to watch Back to the Future,
Which one?
the first one, the good one.
Hey, I quite like the second and the third.
Da, 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 da,
It's funny
da,
actually
da,
because
da, da.
I intentionally didn't put Back to the Future on my shortlist. I considered it a few times. And
Yeah,
I thought, yeah, I'm not going to because we'll cover it at some point, I'm sure. Um, but yeah, and today I nearly sent you a video where someone was talking about the timeline of Back to the Future and how fucked up it is for Doc to like. If their argument was maybe he's gone intentionally gone back to 1885 just so he can finally get shot of Marty coming in and giving him all these fucking problems to solve. The guy needs a break from technology. But
well,
yeah.
yes, we'll watch. I fucking love Back to the Future.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like Toy Story. It's one of those movies I can just watch and watch and watch, I guess. So
Well,
yes,
I will
I think it's
reserve
fucking
my
great. And you like it too. You
I
like
will
Back to the Future.
I will reserve my comments on this movie until next week when we discuss it together after having
He
watched
loves
it.
it. Right.
And yeah, so join us for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.